I think the dressing room right now are going to be really excited at the fact that these players, especially a world-class player like Wirtz, is going to be playing for Liverpool and walking into that dressing room. I think it's just completely positive all round, and it makes me. I want the season to start now. After the league,
bring on Preston.
Yeah. After the league ended, I felt a little bit drained from all those big celebrations, and I thought, right, need a little bit of a rest now, just look into transfers and stuff. Now we've signed Wirtz, I'm like, right, get that pre-season started. I want to see how we're going to use him, and I just feel dead excited for the whole thing now, and I want the season to go again.
It's a salutary reminder how brilliant transfers are, and how stupid people who think are above transfers are. Stupid people. Serious question incoming, Mike. It's sort of the same question I put to Abby in a way, but is this Liverpool putting their foot down as an organisation? Is this Liverpool reading the room in a broader sense, looking at the cycle of some of the traditionally competitive clubs and saying some of these clubs are not at their peak at the moment? The Man Cities of this world, the Bayern Munichs, even Real Madrid, although they've kind of bought Trent. They weren't peak Madrid last season by any stretch. Barcelona are good, young, upcoming, but still vulnerable. Is this the ownership, management, directorship of football looking at it and goes, this is sort of a sweet spot moment in history, in our history. We've won the league, we're from a position of strength, we could double down, strengthen, and really build something quite substantial here.
Yeah, look, it's when he first came in, Richard Hughes, he literally said in the press conference that he was put up in, which was probably a strange move that some thought at the time, but he said about being opportunistic. And this is that in capital letters, I'd say. Like we have just won the league, and yes, there is a bit of change around, but Man City are in the middle of revamping their squad. They also did loads of business in January that a lot of people seem to be forgetting on football internet.
Yes,
did all that shit about like, oh, they've spent this much, blah blah blah. I don't care. Where it's going to cost another 50 million quid, I don't care. He is, as Abby's just said, one of the top 10 most exciting talents in the world at the minute. He's 22. I think he's 21 or 22. He's
22. Quite recently,
yeah.
22.
So if he signs a 5-6 year deal, but he's going to be 27 at the end of that, and we're going to have a lot of fantastic football between now and then. We've done it. I think when we signed Salah and Mane and stuff like that, I think they were all younger than 24. I think
they were about 24. Both. I think Salah and Mane were both 24.
Salah around 32. Salah's 32 now, isn't he? And he signed
in 2017.
In 2017, I think he was 23.
24, definitely not older than 24.
Yeah,
but we're definitely getting Wirtz. Let's put it this way: we know Liverpool's sweet spot is 21 to 24.
But we're there again, aren't we?
This is the younger end of that.
Frimpong's about 24, I think. 24.
Yes, yeah, that's
Wirtz is 22. Kirker's heavily rumoured
to be 21.
21. We're sort of in that ballpark.
Not a rumour. I hope he is actually 21.
I think it's true. I think it might be true.
But it seems to be all in that sort of ballpark again, where we are sort of revamping where we need to revamp. Like at the beginning of this summer, I don't think I'd have been down for a sort of attacking midfield signing that we've gone for, and now we've gone for it. It's actually yeah, of course we're always going to be in the conversations for them sort of players, I think, and the fact that we've then been able to win the league and bring a project to this player where he's excited by it and wants to come and be a part of it speaks volumes. And yeah, look, we've been sensible in the past, of course we have, but it being sensible gets us to where we are now. Why not be sensible as much as we can? And yes, we've just spent £100 million on a player, and who knows what the add-ons are. I don't care if there's a whole thing buzzing up about Nunes, and if he starts again, we owe X,
5 million quid more to it.
But imagine if that next start was a Champions League final. None of us would care, because we'd be watching Liverpool Football Club playing a Champions League final,
and he's not getting picked anyway.
And exactly. So like, I don't care what the add-ons are. Like, I'm going to see a boss footballer play for Liverpool through basically the peak of his career, getting into the peak of his career, and if he loves it that much as I think all these players around him, Mo Salah's done 9 years now.
Yeah.
Van Dijk's come in and he's captain the club now and loves. Have you ever seen a man love being himself and being his role more than that? Alisson's loved his time. They all love the time here.
Yes, and I hope Florian Wirtz is going to be the next time loving guy.
He is the next one, and Frimpong and Kirkers and maybe others involved after the rest of the summer. Who knows? It's just a massively exciting time to be a part of this. McAllister a couple of years ago, great value, great player. Red Gravenberch absolutely blossomed into a phenomenal footballer recognised by his peers this season, voted Young Player of the Season, superb, young, great age. Szoboszlai's 25, 26, young-ish. It is just all coming together. It's all boiling really well up for... Well, we're champions as well, by the way. And yes, we're going to have targets on our backs next year, but can you imagine being part of this? Like, it must be so exciting, and I can't wait to watch it.
Yes, I can't wait either, Phil. I mean, what I think blindsided us as much as the idea that Liverpool were prepared to pay such a fee. I mean, it's interesting that the Bayern director of football, is it Max Eberl, was saying that they were shocked, but that Liverpool were prepared to pay that fee. They couldn't really. It's not just that we paid to pay that fee, but also that we were paying the fee in a non-priority, and what was certainly as fans and not inexpert fans, we perceived a non-priority position. No one saw the Dom Szoboszlai role, quite frankly, as the one that needed £120 million dropping on it. We all saw if Liverpool were going to go crazy in the market in relative terms, an Isak at 130 maybe, that they'd go, we have to put our chips somewhere like, he's the new Van Dijk equivalent, the transformative signing, or the equivalent of Alisson. No one's happening in this position, which sort of leads us to the tantalising proposition that this is only the beginning, in the sense that Liverpool might still drop a significant amount of money on a centre forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and I've said this a few times now, but I think the biggest thing or unknown about this summer is we don't really know still exactly what the manager wants the team to look like. I think last year was him sort of making a functional team out of the tools he'd been given, as opposed to going out and buying his own tools and whatever to make what he wanted. So the idea that we could say this won't happen or that won't happen, I think is not quite right. It didn't come as quite a surprise to me in terms of the player, maybe, because I think it was very heavily Bayern Munich. He's going to Bayern Munich, and then it was like, oh, Manchester City are interested, and then there was that mad thing where it turned out that he'd come to England, and it wasn't actually Manchester City he was meeting with. It was Liverpool, and then from there it sort of rolled to where we are now. But the lack of surprise thing for me is that I've always thought that if we've thought a player is worth it, we will go after it and make it happen and do it.